So in just a few seconds I'm going to throw the valve on this kettle and pull off about roughly 4 gallons of water. That way it's kind of a foolproof method here. The water that's left over is exactly the amount of water that I'm going to mix in with my grains. We're roughly at around 170 degrees, which gives me a few degrees to play around with in case there's any temperature loss. The Greek festival in full swing behind me, which is a beautiful thing. There's Archangel Michael right behind me, and can't ask for a better afternoon. The brew process is about to be in full effect. Jumping up to about 140, 143. I wish you could smell this right now. Kind of you would think a very simple smell to describe it. It's very bready, but has a little more of like a raw quality to it. Well, here we are halfway through our mashing process. We have a fire going. The Greek festival is now going into our twilight hours, as you can hear the music behind me. And it's made for quite the pleasant setting for our sweet potato amber ale. What I have here is what is left of roughly 6 pounds of chopped and dehydrated sweet potatoes. As I said, this stuff, once dehydrated and roasted in the oven, produces something that smells and tastes remarkably similar to something like a specialty malt, special B to be specific. It has kind of like some dark roasty raisiny characters to it, and we're going to add this to the beer. Oh, look at that color. I know you probably can't, but God, that's just a beautiful, deep, burnt orange. One of my favorite colors. East Kent Golding. Yeah, that's Greek rap you hear in the background. I can't, even I can't even. Right. Well, here we are. Cheers, Andy.
Cheers. Cheers.
My good partner comes to join me once again on a brew day. Andy, who has been there since my very first brews and who I very much enjoyed his company in some of my very first videos that I put together on brewing, which never made it to the light of day, but that's okay. They're in the archives and I enjoy them. Anyway, we are in the last few moments of our boil. I've added some yeast nutrient, added some Whirlfloc to help clear the beer out a little bit once we go to chill down. It's been a pretty cool brew day. Everything's gone pretty much according to plan. Just to recap, I pretty much processed some sweet potatoes by boiling them, mashing them down, dehydrating them, adding them into this beer. We've had the lovely accompaniment of at times really obnoxious Greek music pouring from the Greek festival just a few houses down. But overall, it's been a great night. We had a bonfire going, but we were lazy about it and let it die down. But what are we enjoying right here, Eddie?
Deliciousness. This is what the blonde with fig.
Right.
The blonde.
Yeah. Oh. This is a blonde ale that I brewed. I normally brew a fresh fig Scottish ale this time of year, and I finally just had to, try something different with it. Scottish ales are great, but I really feel like they're great on their own. They don't need the addition of a fig. I really feel like this blonder, lighter ale will do a much better job of highlighting some of the fig's light, fruity character. And I think it's a much more approachable beer. It's clean and very easy to drink. And we're just sampling right now because we have to save it for the Lorraine Lighthouse fundraiser that will be happening in a few days from now. So, but anyway, this is pretty much towards the end of the brew day. I will fire up the camera one more time just to show my knockout process, which I'm glad that Andy's here to join me with that. Normally he's got some other priorities and he ends up pulling them out of here before the end of the brew day, and it's nice to actually have him here to actually just wrap up the process. But with that, we're just going to enjoy the rest of our conversation here, and we'll catch up with you on at the end of the brew day here. Cheers.
Pulled some strings. I had to call out some last favors. And did some Godfather stuff. And got it to work. So, we're back on track. Things will be very, very rewarded.
Yeah. Well, speaking of rewarded, I feel like this brew day has been very rewarding. The camel humping debauchery over at the Greek Fest is finally wound down, and don't get me wrong, normally I'm thrilled at the fact that I'm so, immersed in my Greek community here, but that was just getting really bad towards the end, just listening to these guys just like wail and just drool on the microphone. I think I'm just being salty because all that was happening while I was trying to troubleshoot my little beer gone awry over here. We're still dropping. We're down to 76 degrees.
Gone awry. Didn't you have that one?
Yes. No.
No.